We're live. Just need to get chat up on my phone. Whew. There we go. Oh no. What have I done that for? Okay, there we go. Right, well, we're live, so hopefully you're all okay. I'm just going to share the stream around real quick. And then we'll get going. You guys know how it is. You guys know how it is. I'm rising, rotten, rising, using you as background noise. How does it feel to be a tool for me? Also, there's a strong echo. Stronger echo. Oh, I know why. There we go. That should be better. That should be okay. That should be okay. Anyway. How is everyone today? Hopefully we're all okay. It's a little bit. I'm actually on time for once. I'm actually on time for once. But yeah. Today's stream will be a little bit shorter than usual because I've got work tonight, so yeah. But hey, how we doing? Hopefully you're okay. I'm just sharing the stream around, so I'll just share the stream around. Make sure you guys share it around as well. We'll share it around, and then I will get to doing the tier list as we usually do. You guys know how it is. Yeah, we're ranking the MCU villains today, which should be interesting. Just logging into all my accounts, sharing it. So yeah. Hi, Ravenous Puncher. How we doing? Hopefully we're okay. Yeah, we're ranking the MCU villains today. So originally I was gonna do ranking the upcoming MCU projects, the ones from Phase 5 and 6, but I found with that was all of the lists that I found, all of them were outdated, so I chose to do this instead. I didn't have time to make one today because I've been very busy today. So, but we're going to do MCU villains, and we'll save anticipation for future MCU projects for a later week. So there is that. So yeah, which is cool. But yeah, hopefully you're all okay. I'm just sharing the stream around at the moment, so if I'm not doing anything, don't worry. We will get to it. Hey, Lowe's, did you hear that Defoe is willing to return as Norman a third time? But the condition is that the role should be meaty and substantial. I'm excited. You should be too. Yeah, I am excited for that. I mean, the thing, I don't think Norman will return, but I have heard that news. I'm covering it on Lewis News at some point. I just haven't got around to it, but I will be covering that and giving my thoughts as well. So yeah, in the MCU, yeah, I mean, I don't think Norman should be in the new MCU movies anyway. And if he is, I don't think it should be Defoe. I want Harry in the MCU. I mean, I think there's been rumors that we are gonna get Harry, so you know. Yeah, there is rumors we are going to get Harry. Harry and Miles Morales. Harry in a more laid back role though, so he won't be like at the forefront. Miles Morales will be like the quote unquote best friend apparently. But obviously those are all rumors, and we should take them with a pinch of salt. So, you know. He can be as Iron Patriot or Monster Goblin. I mean, that'd be interesting. I mean, the one thing that I would hate if they brought Norman back is that they do the Green Goblin again, like the regular Green Goblin. Like, if they bring him back, at least do something different. Hopefully we do get Harry in the MCU, says Cool Man. Hello, Cool Man, how are we doing? First off, and second, that would be cool. It would be very cool. But yes, we're going to be ranking the MCU villains today. So all of the MCU villains. I know this will be a shorter stream, but we're just gonna be doing it, going through it quickly, should we say? Yo, what's going on? Jasify, how we all doing? Yeah, so he won't be regular Goblin. I'm betting as Monster Goblin. I mean, hopefully they do that in live action at some point. That would be sick. That would be sick if they do that. So you guys know how it is. Give your input. We're gonna be starting. We're not gonna go in. We're not gonna like try and do them in chronological order. We're just gonna do them in the order that they have them here. So yeah. I mean, shall we get started? Shall we get started? The Flag Smashers from Captain America. No, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sorry. What are we saying for the Flag Smashers? Obviously, the thing is with MCU villains is that. I mean, sorry. The thing is with the first one that we rank is that where is it gonna go? Where is it gonna go? Guys, I'd love to see Monster Goblin, but given the VFX of the MCU, right now it look like Hulk with a tumor. Yeah, it will. I'd love to see Monster Goblin, though. I think Monster Goblin is so underused and underappreciated. I think he deserves a chance. But yeah, where are we ranking the Flag Smashers from Falcon and the Winter Soldier? So Falcon and the Winter Soldier, obviously. I want to know where you guys are putting them in terms of this tier list. Where would you guys put them? I know where I'd put them. C? C? D? Says Sport Talk. D? God damn. Yeah, I mean, they are very much... C tier, they make a lot of sense, but they were overshadowed. Yeah. Their role does make sense in the MCU. You would think something like the Flag Smashers would creep up in the MCU at some point, given how long it's been around. But personally, if I was to write Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I would have got rid of them completely. John Walker is the perfect villain for it. God knows why they redeemed him. I think it's a C. The purpose was that. The purpose, fair enough, but like, I just disagree. I love Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I don't really have anything to say about the Flag Smashers, honestly. That's fair enough. Okay, let's move on then. So, Agatha from WandaVision, obviously getting her own show as well. What are we saying about Agatha? I'm just looking through some of these villains. I've forgotten most of these guys' names. Like, who even is this guy? This is the agent guy from Winter Soldier. I forgot his name. If someone reminds me of his name, I will know. And the guy from Iron Man 3 as well. If someone reminds me of their name, I will remember. Am I a fake Marvel fan? Am I a fake MCU fan? I completely sympathize with John Walker. B, I just disagree. Most of us said C. No, I disagree with their involvement in the show. I don't disagree with you guys. Agatha is a D. Agatha is a C. Theme song alone. She was built up and kind of fell flat in the end. Killian, that's it. Killian. There you go, that's the one. D. I actually quite like Agatha as a villain. I think she's a B, and I'll tell you why. So, I think Agatha as the concept of Agatha as a villain is very strong. I just think she wasn't fleshed out as much as she could have been in WandaVision. And I think when we get to her show, they will prove to us why. Now, a lot of people aren't excited for the Agatha show, and I'm not one of them either. I'm not really excited for it. But I definitely think that her character will be vastly expanded, and I think that from what she did in WandaVision, I think will come more to fruition, as it will make more sense. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, probably in C, but high C, because I don't think she deserves to really be in B just yet. Agatha is a B. Aldrich Killian, Iron Man 3, yeah. No, that was right. She was built up, kind of fell flat in the end. We read that one, yeah. D. Okay, then, so Killian. Every time I say Killian, I think of Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe, you get it? If you guys watch football, you guys would know. Yeah, so Aldrich Killian. What are we saying about Aldrich Killian? I'm interested to see what you guys think about this one, because I really like Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is kind of my early MCU bread and butter is Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is my favourite of the trilogy. Which is quite an unpopular opinion, actually. I don't know if it is nowadays. I don't know. It used to be a very unpopular opinion, because everyone used to hate Iron Man 2 and 3 and love Iron Man 1. I don't know what the consensus is now. He's D. B, he was kind of interesting, but a syndrome knockoff. D. Everyone's saying kind of D-ish. Yeah, his powers are cool, but honestly, he is very forgettable. He is a D for me, unfortunately. I think the issue with Iron Man 3 for me was the villains. I really like what they did with Tony Stark, though. I really like what they did with Tony Stark. Joey says Green Goblin is an S tier. We haven't got to Green Goblin yet, but he is on the list. Yeah, D. Yeah, Aldrich Killian, very forgettable. His powers are cool, though, but the Mandarin should have just been the villain. But as we come to know, the Mandarin, obviously, you know, we get to Shang-Chi and we know. So this agent guy from Winter Soldier, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know his name. I forgot his name. So if someone reminds me of his name, Iron Man 3 is alright, but the villains are definitely not why it's alright. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. The Tony Stark stuff, I think, is some of the best stuff we've gotten in the MCU. And I will die on that hill. I loved Iron Man 3 for that. Infinity Ultron versus Dr. Manhattan. What say you guys? That'll be an interesting matchup. Can't wait for Ego. I love Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's a great actor. So this agent guy, whoever he is, he's going in D. Don't even know who he is. Right, okay. So the man who started it all of the villains of the MCU. Where are we putting him? Where are we putting him? This is the man, the myth, the legend. The Jeff Bezos of Iron Man movies. Of the MCU. Oh, Alexander Pierce. That's it. That's his name. Be really fun and over the top. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with... when it... You see... It's really hard. It's really hard to... A tier. Tony Stark made villains are trash though, except Vulture. Rest, such as Killian and Mysterio, are downright garbage, says Ravenous Puncher. Well, that's really interesting, because we'll get to Vulture and we'll get to Mysterio later on. But yeah. So, but the thing is, when it comes to Ironmonger, I just feel as if, like, he's a cool villain. He's a cool villain for the movie as well. He's just a copy of Tony Stark, which started the trend of mirror villains in the MCU. I kind of like Ironmonger, though. I think his motivations make sense. His character makes sense. He is quite memorable for being the first MCU villain. I think he's a low B tier for me. Because I wouldn't put him in the Flag Smashers category, if I'm being honest. I do like him. I like him as a villain. I'm going to put him low B tier. Good performance, but the final confrontation left a lot to be desired. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, he did lack in some areas. Definitely not the greatest MCU villain of all time. Right, okay. Darren Cross. What are we saying about Darren Cross? He's the next one. What we're saying about Darren Cross. I know what I want to say about Darren Cross. All this is making me realize that the MCU does not have the best track record of villains. No, it does not, and we will get to that. I think that's something that I realize this as well. Darren is a D, no doubt about that. Yeah. Ray hit the nail on the head. He's higher than Aldrich Killian. But from the Ant-Man movie alone, he's not very memorable. And they completely ruined him with MODOK. If Darren wasn't a low tier villain before, MODOK is severely hurt his chances of getting anywhere near C. So, in fact, yeah, he's probably at the bottom of D, to be honest. D, I feel like he makes little impact. MCU villains are super nerfed. Yeah, this is the thing. I realized this when I opened this tier list, and I kind of looked through it before I went live, and I was like, geez, like, these villains are not very good. A lot of them. He has no character in Ant-Man. He's the worst case scenario of a mirror villain that just to be evil with the same exact power of the villains. Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay, so the dude from Moon Knight. I forgot his name. What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name from Moon Knight? This dude. I've forgotten who he is. You guys can do this one. You guys can tell me about this one. Because I've only seen half of Moon Knight. I haven't actually seen the full show. So maybe this one's a little bit... Why is Yellow Jacket so low? He was pretty cool in Ant-Man. His powers are cool. His powers are cool, but like, he's just a mirror villain, as Ray said. Moon Knight villain was a C. Villains are so stinky. Yeah, they are. Top of C or B, apparently. I don't even know who he is. I've only watched half of Moon Knight, and the thing that I say, right, is that I love the MCU to bits, but if an MCU show is losing me halfway through the season, maybe I should have seen it to the end, but Moon Knight just didn't get me. Same with a lot of the other shows. The only reason I stuck it through She-Hulk was because it was entertainingly bad. But he's a C, cool concept, but like most MCU shows, they fumbled the bag in the end. Yeah, Arthur Harrow says Ravenous Puncher, so that's him. Okay, well, we'll put him in C then, shall we? Because that's where you guys are kind of saying top of C or B, C, yeah. Okay, so Namor. This is where I think we're going to get our first higher tier villain of the bunch. Saying Moon Knight was meh, got bored of it after watching a couple episodes. Yeah, I mean, it should have been a movie, really, Moon Knight should. It should have been a movie, and it would have been easier to watch. Finally, a good villain. Yeah. So for me, he's an A. He's not an S. He's not the greatest. He's not an S. I don't think he's anywhere near S, actually. I think he's an A because there are better villains. What I'm saying is, like, where the top is, he's not there, but he's an A. He's an A. Ray said I say A because he had a really bad conclusion. Yeah, exactly. Once again, the ending wasn't the greatest. Haven't seen Black Panther 2, so I have no idea. Namor is C. The costume is completely trash. According to Ravenous Puncture, perfect. Finally caught you live. Oh, hi, how we doing? Yes, we are live. Yeah, so Namor's an A. Namor's a great villain because, I mean, personally, I love him because he has it's the underlying implications of what his character means to the overall story. Like Ray's been saying, he's not just a mirror villain. He is someone who has his own culture underwater. Someone who has been oppressed. His culture has been oppressed and driven out of his environment, and he's learned to adapt, and now he's thriving, and his culture's thriving, and his people are thriving, and once again there's a threat that could wipe them all out, and this causes the backlash. So in some sort of way, we almost sympathize with Namor. We see his perspective. We know why he's doing what he's doing. And that's why he's a great villain. The greatest villains, in my opinion, are the ones where you can really see their point of view. Villains that are just there to smash stuff up. Yeah, they're cool in some scenarios. I mean, obviously, if it's not a deep movie, it's not a deep movie. Like, I don't expect the Super Mario Bros. Movie, for example. I don't expect Bowser to have a tragic backstory as to why he does what he does. It's Bowser, for God's sake, right? But Namor did. Namor makes sense, if anything. Shuri had held down Namor's story a bit, if you think about it. Namor could have had his own movie, definitely. Right, Taskmaster. I think we know where Taskmaster is going. Taskmaster is straight in D. Sorry, Taskmaster, but I think with Taskmaster, he's such a cool villain, and the fact that the MCU managed to ruin such a cool villain. Taskmaster is one of my favorite Marvel villains of all time, and the fact that Black Widow butchered him so hard makes me so mad. Such a D character. Such a letdown. Such a letdown. It's not Taskmaster? It is Taskmaster. Is it not? That's literally Taskmaster. The fact that the game did Taskmaster better is sad. Yeah. It literally is sad. He should have been in a Spider-Man movie. He would be cool with Spider-Man. I actually included him in my recent episode of Spectacular Spider-Man. He's in that one. In my opinion, not every single villain in existence needs to be sympathetic to be a good villain. No, of course they don't. What I mean is, like, I'm sure Bowser will be a cool villain. But Bowser will be a good villain under the premise that the Super Mario Bros. Movie isn't trying to be this philosophical, you know, culture-defining, critical critical viewpoint on society kind of movie. You know, it's not gonna be that. You know, Bowser is going to be the villain in the Mario Bros. Movie, and he's going to be a smash 'em up kind of villain because that's what the Mario Bros. Movie is. It's not trying to be you know, this deep movie. You know what I mean? But Black Widow dealt with, and the MCU, when you rank MCU villains, they deal with, especially the ones that cross over, you've got to view them as the MCU as a whole. The MCU is largely taken seriously. Like, a lot of their themes, especially in Black Panther and Wakanda Forever, and Shang-Chi, Captain America Civil War, Winter Soldier, a lot of those themes are taken very seriously. And when you rank villains based off that concept, some of those villains just fall very short in comparison to other villains like Namor. So, that's why they're... And also, they're very forgettable, too. Lewis EXE shut down there for a bit. Yeah, he did. Yeah, so welcome if you're just coming to the stream. A few people have just came in as well, so that's cool. That's not Anthony Masters. No, it's not. Oh, okay. So you're basing this off Anthony Masters, Tony Masters, the actual alias of Taskmaster. No, it's not the actual Taskmaster, but I doubt Anthony Masters is going to appear in the MCU. I think this is the Taskmaster, because obviously the, you know, villains' identities and heroes' identities can be changed in adaptation. That's why it's an adaptation. Marvel is political by nature. DC is fantastical. Yeah, I mean, you just look at Captain America Civil War. Marvel is political by nature. Or at least they made it political by nature. It's I mean, yeah. Some of the stuff is. Gore is beating... Right, okay, Gore the God Butcher. Gore the God Butcher. What are we saying for Gore? What are we saying for Gore, guys? I mean, I don't see why they can't just give... There's another Taskmaster in the MCU. They could do, but I just doubt they will. I just doubt they will. Gore is a B. He would be better if he wasn't in Love and Thunder, but Christian Bale did the best with what he had. Hello, not Ryan. How we doing? I think the serious argument falls apart when you have No Way Home being a serious movie and no one can say they agree with Goblin's point of view. Yeah, that's also true. But Goblin is a good villain for different reasons. Like, Goblin's a good villain because of the context put down by Spider-Man 1. And he's a good villain because of what he means to Peter Parker. Now, these other villains don't necessarily do that. Gore is a C for the cool black and white fight. I'm not from the future, so don't try to debate this. Scarlet Witch revives Quicksilver, and he does a Flashpoint and reboots the MCU. Don't tell anyone I told you. Damn. We'll see if that happens. All props to Bale. As good as Christian Bale is, Gore is a D. Gore is a D villain. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Right, right, listen. Christian Bale, greatest actor ever, right? To play an MCU villain. Probably could push it up to a C, but he's high D tier. Gore is such a bad villain. He is memorable because of Christian Bale. Nah, hold on a minute. Gore is a D. He is. Love and Thunder is probably, apart from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Love and Thunder is the worst MCU movie I've ever seen. And Gore is so... Right, the only thing that Gore has is Christian Bale. If Christian Bale came in and played Yellow Jacket, we would all be saying the same thing. If Christian Bale came in and played Aldrich Killian, we'd all be saying the same thing. Gore literally is a bad villain. The show don't tell rule is broken about 1 million times. He says he kills gods. We don't see him kill one apart from the beginning of the movie. He doesn't pose any sort of threat. I just think he's a D. He's top. He's top. He's top of D. He's almost C because of Christian Bale. He's top of D. Alright, top. Mid-take. Bale did carry. Bale carried the whole movie. Christian Bale carried the whole movie. Can we all agree this was a mid-take? I don't think it's a mid-take. I don't think... We're ranking the characters. The villains. I'm being lenient by giving points to Bale. Hey, Lewis, I'm a bit late. How are we doing? Yeah, we're just having a debate. You need an F tier because C and the character. Grammar. Yes, Ryan, grammar. I don't even know what you said. Did you watch? No, I didn't. I haven't got around to it. I've never heard of it though. God Butcher butchered no gods. Exactly. He's the God Butcher. He didn't butcher anyone. How was I meant to think that Thor or Jane Foster or any of the main characters were in any sort of danger at all? He kidnapped a bunch of kids, and he didn't even kill them. What am I supposed to? What? And the thing is, he should be in D purely from the fact that Gore is such a good villain from the comics and other Marvel stuff, and they managed to butcher him this hard in this movie. It's so, guys, if we're gonna put Gore in C or higher, then every bad MCU villain gets a chance, and I'm not taking those chances. So that's my opinion. If it wasn't for the movie trying to be mostly a comedy, then it was them ruining my boy Gore that made me hate Love and Thunder. Yeah, exactly. It was a big part of why that movie failed. Christian Bale carried, as we said. Butchered more gods than me. That's true. I mean, he butchered more gods than all of us. Apparently. Allegedly, because we didn't see it. I thought Natalie Portman did well in the film, but Gore isn't even in the film much. Yeah, he isn't even in the film much. He should have been Marvel's Kratos. The kid dynamic was stupid in Love and Thunder, to be honest, really. That's why Null should have been in the MCU. Gore and Null worked like bread and butter. Yeah, well, Null can't appear in the MCU unless he's a Spider-Man villain because of the Sony thing. I meant Marvel. Gore deserves C at least because had some really cool moments we haven't seen before and had better scenes than most people in D. Yeah, he did, which is why he's top of D, but I'm sorry, I ain't budging. He did have some cool moments, but he's not. His character was bad. It was bad. Darth Vader should have been the main villain. Anyway, let's move on. Vulture. What are we saying, Vulture? Coolman says, I really enjoyed Love and Thunder, though. That's fair enough. Null would work. But obviously the Sony thing, so. Gore is F. Yeah. So we can put him lower. Should we create a tier just for Gore because of how disappointing he was? A, S, Michael Keaton is the GOAT. Second best Spider-Man villain. A, B at lowest. Vulture can claim a little A. Vulture A. You're all saying A. I don't know if this is my Spider-Man bias. I want to put him in S. I want to put Vulture in. Is that bad if I put Vulture in S? I don't think this list is gonna have many S's other than probably one. He'd be an S if he wasn't in Morbius. Ray makes a good point. Maybe he's high A. Yeah, Morbius ruined him. Oh, everyone. He has layers. He does have layers. He does. Oh, no. Sport Talk is really wanting the S. Michael Keaton's Vulture is one of those good examples of what a villain should be. B. No. No, S. It has to be S. I have to go with my gut. Vulture's S. Right. What even is this guy's name? I forgot this guy's name. Oh, the Doctor Strange villain. What's his name? Someone remind me in the chat. It's not in the MCU, but it's the same character from the MCU. Yeah, exactly. Also, Love and Thunder should have Thor gone through a character arc, but would it fit with the message of the movie? We don't actually know why he was in Morbius. No, we don't. I wonder if that'll ever get answered. Caecilius, that was it. Caecilius. Okay. Why are we ranking Caecilius? D. Yeah, I mean, I can't even remember the guy's name. I don't even remember what he did. I've watched Doctor Strange like twice. I still can't remember what he did. The most forgettable. Yeah, it's the most forgettable name ever. If Malekith isn't, then it's this guy's. Dudes makes a good point on Vulture though. He would be an S if he didn't have so much connection to Stark. Ooh, that's an interesting take. Does his lack of connection to Peter Parker initially make him an A tier villain? That's an interesting point there. You know what? You open my eyes to something there. I'm gonna say no. I'll tell you why. I'm going to say no. Because, in my opinion, I think you can make that argument for Mysterio. Because, you know, fool me once, it's your fault. Fool me twice, it's my fault, right? So we'll use that analogy. They used the Stark connection once. It was fine, right? Spider-Man has no footing in the MCU. He just got introduced in Civil War. He's got no footing in the MCU. He's got no one attached to him, no characters. The perfect way to create an easy way to create a villain for Spider-Man is through Tony Stark. And they did it really well. And not only did they give him a villain through Tony Stark, but they managed to then connect that villain with Peter. So I'd say probably around halfway through the movie, or maybe more towards the end of the movie, where Peter finds out that Adrian Toomes is Liz's dad. Maybe that's when he properly becomes a Spider-Man villain. Because then he's embedded in Peter Parker's life more than he was before. He's more or less a Peter Parker character then. He kind of transitions. But Mysterio, however, I think you could definitely make that point because they've already done the whole Stark connection thing once. Well, doing it again is just, it's a bit much. Spider-Man's already in the MCU now. You had Scorpion set up from the last movie. I think it's a shame they didn't use Scorpion because, like I said before, he had no villains set up. There was no characters ready to go for him. He had no connections in the MCU. He had no bearings in the MCU. Fair enough. You do it once. You do it twice. You had Scorpion ready and waiting there as a Spider-Man villain. His motivation would have been festered from what happened in Homecoming. They didn't use it. So yeah, Mysterio sucked. So yeah, his entire villains are just mad at Tony, apart from the old ones. If the movie had ended with him being connected to Tony, then I'd understand. Peter does have a crush on his daughter in the entire movie. Yeah, exactly. So he is connected to Peter in some way. Both Peter and Vulture's connection to Tony made me extremely interesting parallel between them. Why didn't Vulture just repeatedly stab Peter with his talons? He didn't want to kill Peter. I think if there's this much debate on Vulture being S, he needs to be an A because he's not full S. Boom, AI president's logic. Well, I would put him in A, but because this is my tier list, and this is my opinion, at the end of the day, ultimately, I'm going to put him in S. But you guys have given some good points. Vulture's S for me. I agree with your opinion, Lewis. Spider-Man is just Tony's kid in the MCU. He's an offshoot Iron Man. We don't need to get into the Iron Man point, but there is some relevance there. Disappointed they didn't use Scorpion when they had the chance. Yeah, I know, exactly. I hope they use him in Spider-Man 4. It still pains me that they haven't used Michael Mando as a phenomenal actor. Having no villains connected to him is a bit sad, but moving forward with the new trilogy, it'll be different, hopefully. Scorpion should have been the main villain from Far From Home. Yeah, exactly. To be honest, I enjoyed Mysterio. Do you think Dormammu is a better villain in Doctor Strange? But I think thing is with Dormammu, he hasn't really been a main villain. He's not even on here, is he? Dormammu isn't even on here. I really hope Scorpion is a future MCU villain. Yeah, okay. So with that out of the way, let's move on to Wanda Maximoff. Now, before you guys post your rankings, I don't want you to rank Wanda as Wanda. I want you to rank Wanda purely from Multiverse of Madness, because Wanda isn't a villain in the MCU. She isn't. She has been a hero for the majority of her time. You have to rank Wanda purely based on her role in Multiverse of Madness, because that is when she is a villain. If we're doing this fairly, right? Because, for example, Vulture could have been a villain. No, wait, that's not a good example. He's already in S. Agatha could have been a villain, the whole MCU, and then we rank her on her whole character, and then she's in S instantly, right? But Wanda hasn't been a villain. So, Dormammu was a force of nature than a villain. Hot take, Wanda is a B. Her motivation was for kids. Never had. But her powers are cool. Wanda is a C tier for me. B. We need more villains like Mysterio. Is amazing far from him. She's an A. Only good part of that movie, not gonna lie. How about I call her as a Scarlet Witch a villain? She killed a lot of people for a lady who isn't a villain before that. Let her own appearances count because it's like a lead up. Well, I guess you could include WandaVision then. Maybe we can include WandaVision in that. But I think you can't include her as a hero because that's not the premise of the tier list. Come on, Lewis. Wanda is a villain. Did you forget Age of Ultron? Well, no, she's just misled in Age of Ultron. She then converts to being a hero. I'm going to put Wanda in... I'm going to put Wanda in high... I'm going to make her a high B. Now, Wanda is an A... No. Okay, so... Wanda would be an A tier. Possibly an S, actually. If the whole reasoning for her being a villain didn't revolve around a book. She is being basically brainwashed by a magical book in Multiverse of Madness. And that is why she goes through with her plan to travel the multiverse to get her children back. Now that is very poor. Because that character motivation, yeah, it comes from something, it comes from a traumatic past. But it doesn't come innately from the character work that was done before. It comes from a book. Now, if WandaVision had ended differently, if WandaVision had ended with Wanda not being redeemed and going further down that dark path, that would have made her character in Multiverse of Madness so much better. But she's not a C, and she's definitely nowhere near a D, because Wanda in Multiverse of Madness had cool powers, memorable scenes, great performance by Elizabeth Olsen. Her motivation makes sense when you take away the fact that it does come from a book. Wasn't she only a villain because she was possessed by the Darkhold? Yeah, she was possessed by a book. She was possessed by a book. Guys. Who is the other guy in B? That is Ironmonger from Iron Man 1. Nightwing, Batgirl, Nightwing and Batgirl and Nightwing and Starfire. Wanda is completely trash human being. She calls Age of Ultron manipulate. I mean, she's got a traumatic past. We'll let her slide. I think that's why she's a high B. She's almost an A. I'd easily put her in a low A or a high B. I'm for either one because she is a great villain. I just think the fact that, you know, the fact that the Darkhold plays a big part in her being a villain. I think if that didn't play a part and it was more just character induced, like fully character induced, rather than, oh, she had a traumatic past, the Darkhold's making her do spooky things, then she'd definitely probably even be an S. Okay, so Killmonger. Where are we saying with Killmonger? So we'll get into some of the better villains now, which is great. Don't forget she used Hulk's Trash City. I don't like her as a villain because it completely erased her arc in WandaVision. Yeah, exactly. If WandaVision had ended and hadn't redeemed Wanda, then she'd be an A. Or an S. She's way better hero than villain, though. But Age of Ultron could have caused an extinction. It's different from killing. A. S tier probably. Maybe A. A. S/A. So everyone's saying Killmonger's generally high of the park. Leaning towards S. Yeah, I mean, if we have Vulture in S, we have to put Killmonger in S. You know, Michael B. Jordan, obviously. You know, motivations make perfect sense. He's a villain that you can relate to. You can understand his point of view. He's basically checks all the boxes of what we said before. Yeah, he is an S. I don't think there's any debate. I don't think anyone's going to argue. Pretty good villain S, Killmonger S, S. Yeah, so we're all in agreement. Okay, Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp. I was gonna say Quantumania then. No, it's not. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Just Ant-Man and the Wasp. Where are we saying Ghost is? We need to hurry this up. I need to go soon. Michael B. Jordan went insane for this role and had to take therapy after the movie. Really? Did he have to take therapy? Is that a thing? Wow. Didn't know that. C, B, C, D, or bottom of C. Killmonger versus Kang boxing match. We need it. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan does a great job at making Killmonger such a threatening villain in Black Panther. Completely agree. C, but love her, so S. Yeah. Who's the actress that plays Ghost again? By the way, could someone remind me in the chat? C.5 because I could really empathize with her. Yeah, she isn't a D villain, is she? She's probably I haven't watched Ant-Man and the Wasp in a long time. She's like that. She's like top of... Or is she below Agatha? I don't know. Ava Starr. Lewis, you're late to work. I'm not late to work. Not yet. I go work in an hour and 20 minutes. But I still need to eat as well. So. She has layers also. Yeah, she wasn't the best though. I can't really remember it. I need to rewatch the movie. So I'm gonna let you guys vote on this one. I'm gonna let you guys vote on this one. You put her in C, so. Okay, Ego. The Living Planet. Lewis, you're super late to work. Am I super late to work? You're stressing me out here because I feel like I am. I'm going to check my WhatsApp messages. Hold on. I'm in work at 7. This is Friday the 24th. You're in at 7. I'm in at 7. Ghost is just a poor sick girl. Felt bad for her. Ego S. Damn. Okay. A. C. Ego is C. What are we saying for Ego then, guys? B. A very, very mixed bag here. I liked him before the twist. Ego is a C. C.5. S. Very, very mixed. Very mixed bag here. Very big mixed bag. I'm going to have to put him at the top of C. He wasn't the greatest villain. Thing is about Ego is he was cool. But like in terms of those moments, those villain moments where they're really memorable, he doesn't really weigh up. Ravenous Puncher, thank you very much for the super chat. I always appreciate it. You know I do. Thank you very much, man. Really appreciate that. Yeah, Ego. Ego, he's a top C. He's a top C. He's pretty mid. He's alright. He's alright. The fact that he's Peter Quill's dad, I think that puts him in C. Yeah, W's in the chat. Ravenous Puncher. You know, a member as well. What a guy. Yeah, W's in the chat all around, man. Thank you very much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Okay, let's move on to Hela then. So Thor's long lost sister, Hela. Crushed Mjolnir. Hela is a B. Hela B. Hela is an S. It says Ravenous Puncher. What are we saying? Or an A. Hela is an S. And my crush, says your Ravenous Puncher. Mysterio S tier. She was cool. But B. Hela S. Such a screen presence. Now that sums up my feelings about Hela as well. She is such a screen presence. Like, you felt her presence when she was on screen. I'm gonna put her in A. She shares a category with Namor, I think. In the fact that I think she's a very, very good villain. Now, it's been a long time since I watched Thor Ragnarok. It's been a long time since I watched Thor Ragnarok, but I remember Hela being a very, very good villain. Very good villain. Make Out Heaven says W ranking. Thanks. But yeah, Hela is A tier for me. She isn't better than Loki. No, she's not better than Loki, but we'll get to that. Right, Red Skull. Red Skull, where are we putting Red Skull? I think I know where I'd put Red Skull. I think Red Skull, he's an interesting one, isn't he? Red Skull. In fact, I'm just going to put him in here. I'm going to put him bottom of B. Now, Red Skull was very interesting in Captain America: The First Avenger. He made an appearance in Infinity War. He was cool there. His premise is cool. He's looking cool as always. Hey W for Ravenous Puncher, great high donation. Yeah, W in the chat for Ravenous Puncher. What a guy. Red Skull always seems to be like Cap's Goblin or Joker. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do think he's B. I think he's B. He's a pretty cool villain. He was a good villain in the first Avenger, and he made a cool appearance in Infinity War. And I think, yeah, he's just there. He's middle of the park. He kind of shares the same role that I'd give to Ironmonger, in the fact that Ironmonger is Ironmonger started everything, and he was the first Iron Man villain. The same way Red Skull kind of fills that role for Cap. So I'd put him there. Should have come back to life. Maybe we'll see Red Skull again at some point. Who knows? Because he's still alive. He's on Vormir, isn't he? So, right, here we go. This one's going to stir a debate. Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Bloody Conqueror. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. I still want to see Cap's interaction with Red Skull when he returned the Soul Stone. Missed opportunity. Yeah, it was a missed opportunity. Kang S. S. A. Should make another row for W's again. Some epic villains like last time. Oh yeah, I remember that. We should do that. Maybe at the end. S. Kang is a B. B.5 because he got ruined in Quantumania. I might surprise you guys where I put Kang. Oh wait, there's two Kangs. Hold on. Sorry, no. There's two Kangs. There's Kang the Conqueror, and then there's He Who Remains here. So He Who Remains and Kang the Conqueror. So that it's not like all Kangs. Kang doesn't get like an average score. There's two Kangs. He Who Remains and Kang the Conqueror. So we've got both of them. We've got both of them. So I'm just going to quickly do that. And I'm going to do that. There we go. That's what I'm going to do. Right. He Who Remains. Oh, dude. No, he's there. He Who Remains is a B. I like He Who Remains because I think He Who Remains gave a very interesting... It was a cameo, right? It was one episode. He didn't have enough time to be developed, but his build-up was fantastic. And I think the reveal of it being Kang was great. And Jonathan Majors' performance in that one scene alone would have been absolutely brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. However, Kang the Conqueror is absolutely awful in Quantumania. If you guys don't know why, I have a video explaining why. If you guys want to go watch it. I'm sure some of you have already seen it, but you guys know why. But yeah, the He Who Remains, I loved his little cameo. I thought he provided a very interesting base for what Kang could be. He gave that very quirky, relatable, but very much intelligent performance. Jonathan Majors did. He made the character seem very knowledgeable, threatening, but also very laid back and kind of at the end of his time, and it kind of provided a very scary outlook to what could be in the future, and that's why Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was so highly anticipated, but that's why he's such a disappointment, as he's indeed, because of how bad that iteration of the character was, in my personal opinion anyway. But He Who Remains was great. Loved He Who Remains. I wish we got to see more of him. Right, Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. Now, considering Daredevil now counts as the MCU, obviously this picture's from Hawkeye. Obviously, since Daredevil is now considered canon to the MCU, I think he has to go in S. There is no question about that. And in fact, I don't think there's any debating that. I think he is definitely an S. He has to be. I think because Daredevil, obviously, Kingpin in the MCU sucked. I don't think we're ranking him off the... Because Daredevil is canon now. So he has to be an S. In fact, he has to be top of S. Like, I don't think there's any question. I don't think there's any questioning that. But the Daredevil show he was in was great, yeah. He's the GOAT. Who is this guy? Am I missing something? Is there an MCU movie I haven't watched? Who is this guy? He kind of... Is he from Eternals? Eternals is the only movie I haven't seen, by the way. Actually, I'm gonna tell you guys the ones I don't actually know, and you guys can tell me. This is really bad. I'm a fake fan. I don't know these two people. Who are these? Imagine a movie where we get Defoe, MCU's I'm Patriot, and Fisk versus Sam, Peter, and Matt Murdock. Take my money. Yes, take my money. Eternals, yeah. Where's this woman from? Is she from Eternals as well? I haven't seen Eternals. Oh, it's the Miss Marvel villain. Oh, of course it is. Oh my god. Oh my god, it is the Miss Marvel villain. Oh my god. Of course it is. I'm such an idiot. I'm back. I was watching Pitch Perfect 2 and remembered you. Oh, God. Well, let's rank them then. So, the Eternals villain. Yeah, the Miss Marvel villain wasn't memorable at all. But, the Eternals villain. The Eternals villain, where are we ranking the Eternals villain? I haven't seen Eternals. It's the only MCU movie I haven't watched. So, I need you guys to fill in for this one for me. Almost forgot she had a villain. Yeah, I did as well. Most forgettable villain, yeah. D, he was only there to be a trailer. Okay, cool. Well, we'll put them both in D because the Miss Marvel villain wasn't very good either. You can save time and just throw them both in D. Yeah, there we go. Hi, Kai. How are we doing? Hope you're okay. Don't remember him at all. Eternals, let's skip to. I'm going to watch it. I just didn't get round to it. I don't know. I saw the bad reviews and I kind of dipped. Maybe I'm bad for that. I don't know. Ultron. Ah, good old Ultron. I'm going to put... Now, I want you guys to tell me where you're going to put him, but I need to hurry up a bit, so I'm going to kind of skim through these a little bit, but you guys can tell me, and we'll read a few comments as well. Where's Icarus? I don't think Icarus is on here. Ultron is like he's like there, right? He's like a mid B, he's like a mid-tier B. For me, Ultron's a mid-tier B. Extremely underutilized Ultron. They could have got a two-parter out of Ultron. Like, they could have done a Thanos kind of two-parter with Ultron, and I'm kind of sad they didn't because Ultron is great. Ultron's a great villain. I didn't know much about Ultron back when the movie came out, but the more that I've learned about Ultron, the more that I've seen him in cartoons, the more that I've read the books, I've watched explainer videos on Ultron and kind of learned more about the character, the more I realize they could have done so much more with Ultron. But I liked him in the movie. I thought he was cool. Ultron is a C for being disappointing. See, I could do that, but I do still think they did. I don't think he was that bad. I think he was a cool villain. But I just think they could have done more. Much more. I hate What If, but they did Ultron better on What If. Ultron's story was amazing. You ever see the next Avengers movie? He was cool in that. Hey, everyone. Hi, Jam the Artist. How are we doing? I love Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron's extremely underrated. Right, Malekith, we can throw him in a D. Most forgettable villain of all time. Well, he's not forgettable. He's not forgettable for being forgettable. Zemo, Baron Zemo. What are we saying, Baron Zemo? We'll get to What If Ultron though. Justin Hammer deserves to be a S+++. I don't even think Justin Hammer is on here. It's only Whiplash. Baron Zemo A, Zemo is a B, Zemo S, so a relatively high for Baron Zemo. Zemo S, everyone's saying S. I think Zemo is an... he kind of has to be an S, doesn't he? Yeah, I know, messed up, no Icarus or Justin Hammer. I mean, not really that big of a loss, is it? Is he an A though? You see, when you cause, because I think Zemo. I think people forget that Zemo in Captain America: Civil War, his plan and the way. Like, let me just put this in perspective, right? Zemo in Captain America: Civil War managed to make the Avengers fight each other, tortured Tony with the videotape of his parents' death, managed to do all of this stuff just so he could get away with his plan. And it worked. And it worked. And it was diabolically bad. Like, as in, like, terrifyingly, like, in, like, a good way. Like, it worked. And it screwed the Avengers up. Civil War Zemo is an S. Yeah, I agree, but Falcon Winter Soldier brings him down to an A, so I can't base it off one movie. I don't think he was that bad in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, maybe Ray's right. Maybe we'll go top of A. I feel like he's an S, though. Zemo is such a good villain. No, we'll go top of A because in Falcon and Winter Soldier, I wouldn't consider him an S. I'd consider him a B villain, to be honest. And so I guess it does even out. I'd consider Falcon and Winter Soldier Zemo a B. I consider Civil War Zemo a high S. Not above Kingpin, but up there. So we'll go A. We'll go high A, shall we? Civil War is one of the best Marvel stories for me also. Yeah, same. Just treat him like some normal villain. Okay, right, Loki, easy S. Don't think we can say anything. Easy S for Loki. No questions. Easy S. Malekith, easy D. Don't think anyone's going to argue with that one either. That guy from She-Hulk, once again, easy D for me as well. Loki is absolutely amazing. Definitely deserves an S in my opinion. Right, here we go. Mysterio, guys. This is the one I want to hear you guys' thoughts on. I would give him a preferred Mad Bomb storyline over Avengers 2.5. Ronin, Loki B. Okay, but Loki became a good guy, so is he a villain? Well, yeah, he still is a villain. He's been a villain in most things. He was a villain in Avengers. He was a villain in the Dark World. He wasn't really a villain in Ragnarok. In the Loki show, he is still a villain, but he goes, because it's the Avengers version, he is still a villain. He goes through his arc to become a hero. So mostly he's been a villain. I think when you consider his redemption arc from a villain, I think that also makes him an S. Loki's an A. Loki's an S. Loki's a straight S, bro. Loki's an S. My boy Loki. Him in Thor was great too. And the Sokovia Accords and Zemo's family in Sokovia. Mysterio A. Ronin is a C. A. Loki's B. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. Maybe I need to rewatch stuff with Loki in. I think Loki's an S. I agree, Ryan. Loki A. Mysterio sucked. Where are we saying for Mysterio? Mysterio A or S. Mysterio sucked. He's just a syndrome and Jim Carrey's Riddler amalgam. Ronin doesn't belong under Moon Knight villain. A. Kind of have mixed feelings on how Mysterio was handled in Far From Home, but Gyllenhaal killed it in the role. Gyllenhaal did kill it. Mysterio, for me, is a B tier. I think he's leagues below what they gave us with Vulture. He's leagues below that because of the Stark thing. I think they missed an opportunity of doing Scorpion. I think if they did Scorpion, it probably would have been an A or an S for that villain, but for the Far From Home villain. But I think B. I think B's fair. His motivations made sense. Oh, nah, he's a high C, isn't he? Really, he's a high C. Right, Abomination. He's a high C, really. Mysterio. He really is. He's not. Ray says Mysterio is a C, but I can live with a B. Yeah, he's more of a C. He's more of a high C, really. The more that I think about it. See, I've got to stop the Spider-Man bias in me. Right, okay, so Abomination. I accidentally said Mysterio A, Lala my S. Abomination is A, B, bottom of B. Right, well, I actually think, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I think Abomination was one of the best parts of She-Hulk. One of the better parts of She-Hulk, I thought. No, Abomination is D because of She-Hulk alone. No, I think Abomination was better in She-Hulk. I think Abomination was one of the better parts of She-Hulk, in my opinion. I mean, that's saying something because he still wasn't that great, but he's more like a low C. He's not a high D because he does get redeemed, and they ruined him completely in She-Hulk. Listen, I'm trying to find some kind of. Yeah, no, he wasn't great, was he? We'll put him a high D. No, actually, no, I'll put him low C. Listen, I'm going to say, I think She-Hulk, the positives from She-Hulk is, I think you got to look at, I can't defend She-Hulk. I thought, the only reason why Abomination is there for me is because he was the best part of She-Hulk. Abomination was mad and She-Hulk destroyed him, so he's a D. He was cool, but I don't think he was better. I hate why they made him in She-Hulk. Yeah, maybe I'm just trying to find something good. Maybe because he was the better part of She-Hulk, maybe that's where I'm giving the lenience. Yeah, okay. We'll put him in D. Definitely not there. Abomination was great in Hulk, though. Yeah, he was cool in Hulk. Right, okay, so Mandarin, the actual Mandarin, the Mandarin that we actually got from the MCU. Where are we putting him? Incredible Hulk is top tier movie. I haven't seen the Incredible Hulk in a long time. Right, the Mandarin. The Mandarin. Mandarin is S or A. I think he's an A tier. He's an A tier villain. Very cool villain. Very solid. Not on the level of these guys. Yeah, Bad Dad, yeah. I have to see Shang-Chi again. Shang-Chi is an incredible movie. One of the better... Shang-Chi looks like an absolute masterpiece when you compare it to some of the other movies in Phase 4. Jesus Christ. Shang-Chi is literally the second coming of Christ himself when it comes to the MCU movies. When compared to the rest of Phase 4. Yeah. That and No Way Home. And Loki. Loki's cool too. Yeah, so D for being a father, A for being a villain. So he's down here for being his dad, and then he's there for being a villain. Okay, so Infinity Ultron. Where are we putting the what if version of Ultron? I thought he's pretty cool. I think he's a high B for me. Obviously, you know, very intimidating, very cool, extremely powerful. Higher than regular Ultron? Yeah, he's higher than regular Ultron. He's a B. He's a high B for me. I think it kind of drags down from What If, because I'm not a big fan of What If. He's cool, but What If ain't the greatest thing ever. But he's a cool villain, though. Infinity Ultron is S. Come on, Lewis. He destroyed universes. Yeah, but we're not basing it off his power level, right? We're basing it off the characters, and he's got the context of Ultron there, so like this is like an extended version of Ultron, so it's cool. Yeah, but while we're here, we're just gonna throw Whiplash in a D because you know he's definitely higher than him though, and Ronin, and Malekith. We'll put him there. Green Goblin. Peter Parker. Where are we putting the Green Goblin? Where are we putting Norman Osborn? I think it's obvious. We are S tier, baby! S tier. Green Goblin is an S, and there's no question about it. Thanos was a joke after What If. Can't watch Infinity War and Endgame. S. There's no doubt about it. Green Goblin is an S. We all know why. We discussed it in multiple other live streams. We discussed it in multiple other videos. Right, okay, let's just move on quickly to Jude Law's Marvel from Captain Marvel. Pretty forgettable villain. The whole switcheroo kind of plot was pretty cool. Don't ever try to imitate that laughter. Sorry, I won't do that again. D. Everyone's saying D. No, he's bottom of C. He wasn't that bad, was he? I think he was okay. Oh, guys. I thought Marvel was alright. I thought he was okay. He was meh, but he wasn't trash. I don't think he deserves to share the company of these guys. I thought the whole switcheroo kind of plot was pretty cool. Okay. There's the man, the Mad Titan. Thanos. Where are we putting Thanos? I think it's easy S tier, isn't it? Top of S tier. Thanos, the MCU villain. Template for MCU big bads. If Kang needs to follow anything in Kang Dynasty, it's what this man did. That's the template for a good villain right there. Why is Ultron in B tier? He's supposed to be in A or S. Thanos is A. Are you still reading? F tier. Oh dear God, the man's here. Yes, S for Thanos, no doubt. Infinity War Thanos is A, but not Endgame. I think he's an S. S tier villain. He is. The quotes, the memorability, the writing, the motive, everything's great about Thanos. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the tier list. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I've got to hop off now because obviously, like I said, I've got to go to work soon. I've got to get something to eat. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to slap a like on it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like we mentioned in all the streams and all the videos, we've got the members page. So obviously, if you want to become a member, get early access to content on the first tier now. It didn't used to be the first tier. It used to be the second tier that you get early access to content. It's now the first tier, because the second tier get exclusive content, including an exclusive podcast, which is coming out in the next few days, hopefully, and sporadic content over the year. But yeah, the first tier get early access now. So the members page is now open. So yeah, if you guys are interested, we need more live streams, maybe 2 per week. I'd love to do that. As much as I'd love to do that, if this was a full-time job, Ravenous Puncher, I would do it. But unfortunately, it's not a full-time job, and I'd not have the time to do that. But I would stream twice a week if I could. I'd stream probably 3 times a week, maybe. Ultron made the Avengers fight each other. Anyways, I have passed, promoted to class 9. Oh, nice. Love that. Why is there 23 people in here and 11 likes? Understandable. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys. Oh, also, by the way, I just want to mention, if you're not subscribed to Lewis News, make sure to subscribe, because we are trying to push 1,000 subscribers on Lewis News. Trying to push it by the next couple of months. That'd be absolutely awesome. I bring you all types of Spider-Man news, so don't just think you're subscribing just to help me out. Know that you do get something in return. You get all the Spider-Man news. Obviously, if you guys are in the stream, you're probably Spider-Man fans. So we cover everything in the games and movies and the shows, as some of you probably do know. Lewis, please cover the Defoe news. Yes, I'm covering the Defoe news that's coming in the next few days. I'm covering some Zendaya news, which I've been putting off for a long time because a bunch of stuff has been coming out of Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'm covering the Defoe news, and Haley Steinfeld has also spoke about Across the Spider-Verse. So there's a bunch of stuff we're covering in the next couple of days that I'm going to be reporting on, so make sure you guys are tuned. Thank you very much, Cosmic Bazooka. All types of Spider-Man news. Almost daily videos as well, so that's pretty cool. I'll keep you guys all up to date with that. And also, we hit 1,000 subscribers on Lewis Fiction not too long ago, so thank you for that as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. By the way, if I need some advice for my channel, please be there for me. Well, if you want some advice, maybe the next stream, we can, you could ask some questions. Maybe I can give you some advice, maybe. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Love you all. You're all great. See you again in a bit.